Honorable Speaker, sir, thank you very much for admitting this prayer. The legislature and the Parliament of India are the temple of democracy. It is an institute where policies are conceived, and these policies are transformed into laws through enactments by the legislature to govern the state and its citizens. To implement these acts, following the policies, a system is established which is known as the government machinery. Therefore, these two organs, the legislature and the government machinery, works in tandem for the interests of the people. The functions of these two organs to manage governance effectively have two secretariats, namely the Assembly Secretariat to receive through the people's representatives and the Civil Secretariat to deliver through the civil servants. Therefore, the synchronization of the two secretariats is of paramount importance, and this is why the many assembly committees have been constituted. These are the Public Accounts Committee, the Estimates Committee, the Committee on Public Undertakings, Committee on Privileges, Committee on Subordinate Legislation, Committee on Government Assurances, Business Advisory Committee, Committee on Petition, Committee on Rules, the House Committee, the Library Committee, the Committee on Papers laid on the table to be examined by the committee, the Budget Committee, Committee to examine the applicabilities of laws passed by the Parliament. And speakers have the Rules Committee have also just included the Committee on Environment and Climate Change and the Committee on Urban Local Bodies, the Village and Tribal Councils, vis-à-vis the Nagaland Municipal Act of 2023 and the Nagaland Village and Tribal Councils Act of 1978 as amended up to 2022. The roles of these committees are to coordinate the working systems of the two secretariats, to ensure the implementation of developmental programs conceived out of the policies by the Legislative Assembly, which are meant for the optimum development of the people on all fronts and through all departments of the government machinery. These committees also play dual roles in that they submit their reports on which the popular government rectifies or streamlines their future plans and programs. Therefore, the evidences, both written and oral, established by the committees have far-reaching impacts and consequences. In all, the very essence of a people's government will be missing if the roles and purposes of the committees are compromised in any manner. Therefore, Speaker Sir, my observation and submission today, through your good office, is also to the honorable members who constitutes as a member in any of the assembly committees. If, for any reasons, the honorable member cannot shoulder and discharge their assigned responsibilities owing to their absence repeatedly for want of quorum, that is at least a 2/3 majority, in such cases having been reported on several occasions, then it will be advisable for them to relinquish their positions as a member of those committees with prior information to the Honorable Speaker, so as to facilitate another member for the smooth conduct of such committees. Speaker Sir, Secondly, and more importantly, it has also come to our notice that in many cases, the administrative heads of departments and the heads of departments are not attending to their responsibilities with regard to assembly matters. It has further been observed in many instances that even oral evidences meetings are not being attended, leading to the repeated rescheduling of the meetings, causing serious inconveniences. Non-attendance in these meetings and the tendency to depute junior officers to represent the AHODs and HODs is highly inappropriate and must be scrupulously avoided. All recommendations made by the committees must be treated with due importance, and the mechanism should be in place for their timely implementations. Also, all the AHODs and HODs must ensure their presence during the assembly sessions, which is of a very high importance. The assembly is the highest democratic institution of governance, and all its matters must be treated with utmost seriousness and priority. Government officials, especially those in leadership roles, have a duty to respect the legislative process and ensure that the concerns and recommendations of the House are addressed with sincerity and diligence. The honorable members of the 14th House is committed to uphold the confidence of the people which have been reposed in us through the mandate we have received, and will therefore leave no stones unturned in the service of the people.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your statement. We will come to now item number 11, the announcement of the constitution of various financial and non-financial committees of the Assembly and the panel of chairman for the year 2025-26. Honorable members, the list of committee members are already uploaded in the system, and so I will not read out the names of the committee members since it is already laid for your reference. However, in regard to this item number 11, I would like to take this opportunity to express that on the 60th year of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly, we are very privileged and happy to announce the formation of two new Assembly committees very pertinent to contemporary challenges and requirements of the state. Number one, the Committee on Environment and Climate Change, as just announced by the Honorable Minister of Parliamentary Affairs. Number two, Committee on Urban Local Bodies and Nagaland Village Councils, vis-a-vis the Nagaland Municipal Act 2023 and the Nagaland Village and Tribal Councils Act of 1978, amended up to 2022. The necessity to create the two new Assembly committees emanates from the fundamental essence of Article 371A, the uniqueness of our social fabric and the continuous effort of the honorable members of this august House to take governance to our people necessitated the emergent requirement of the formation of these two committees. With a global perspective, I hope the members of the committee will persevere in addressing regional issues of our state. I also sincerely express sincere thanks to Honorable Minister, Honorable Shri Keji Kenye, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Power, and the Honorable members of the Rules Committee in expressing your support and achieving this significant feat together. Now, honorable members, as there are no unfinished business listed for the day, that brings us to the close of the 6th session of the 14th Nagaland Legislative Assembly. During the 5-day session, we could successfully transact all the business listed, and I'm pleased to note the active participation of honorable members and commitment to the responsibilities entrusted to us while demonstrating a shared commitment in discussing and engaging in matters of vital importance. I also take this opportunity to share my personal view on the budget that was presented for the year 2025-26. I strongly feel that the budget presented is one of the most holistic budgets presented to this august House. It signifies a resurgent Nagaland and a transformed Nagaland in the coming days with all the challenges. I must sincerely thank the Honorable Leader of the House, who is also the Minister in charge of Finance, Deputy Chief Ministers and the Council of Ministers, and Honorable Members in coming up with such a far-sighted budget. Your sincerity towards our people is reflected in the concerns and focus areas of the budget. From this privileged chair, bestowed upon me with trust by this august House, I can witness the silent yet very significant transition that our state is undergoing under a stable government led by the Honorable Leader of the House, Honorable Chief Minister, and his seasoned Senior Council of Ministers and Advisors. The future will remember this moment and period of transformation. I also would like to extend my sincere gratitude to all the honorable members for your cooperation in maintaining the decorum, the sanctity of the House, and efficiency of our proceedings. It is my earnest hope that we continue to uphold this commendable tradition of constructive engagement in the future. Apart from the question hour, we have deliberated on several pressing issues of paramount importance to the state, requiring the immediate attention of the government. In these 5 days of sitting, we could pass 8 bills apart from many other subjects requiring urgent attention of the government. We could also take up 5 subjects of paramount importance for discussion under Rule 50 and Rule 54, respectively. It is also encouraging to witness our honorable members utilizing the medium of 0 hour to highlight pressing and emerging issues that impact the welfare of our people. I also thank the honorable members for your reference to the rules of procedure. I urge more participation and meaningful contribution from all of you in the future. Before I adjourn the House, I take this opportunity to extend my sincere appreciation to the Chief Secretary and his team of officials, the Director General of Police, the Armed Forces, the Paramilitary Forces, for their invaluable assistance in ensuring the smooth conduct of the House proceedings. I also acknowledge the medical team for their unwavering dedication to the well-being and safety of our senior honorable members. My appreciation further extends to the media fraternity for their role in disseminating the proceedings of the House to the people. I reserve my deepest gratitude for my officers and staff, led by the Secretary in charge, whose dedication and meticulous efforts have ensured the seamless transaction of this 6th session of the 14th Nagaland Legislative Assembly. Honorable members, with no other unfinished business before this House, I now adjourn the 6th session of the 14th Nagaland Legislative Assembly Sine Die.